Welcome to another episode straight from the Superhero Hub. This is up for discussion. Today, we're going to be discussing mid-season Flash. I'm Sam.
I'm Matt.
Nice. Right, so far, what has happened in the Flash?
Why are you looking at me?
I was expecting that. There was a flashpoint. Then obviously, because in DC Legends of Tomorrow, when they go to the future, there's obviously they go to Star City, and that's pretty all messed up. And there's John Diggle Jr. So I kind of thought I was going to have another kid, but obviously Flashpoint turned Sarah from a girl to a boy, which I thought I think that was because obviously in DC Legends of Tomorrow, when they like kind of brought it up, that was only talked about for 2 seconds as well. So it's like, why wouldn't they have just given him another kid? Because
I wonder if part of the reason maybe was to do with the kid being named Sarah, because when they initially gave her the name, the Black Canary was dead, right?
yeah,
That's why they did it.
yeah,
They named her Sarah, but now Legend of Tomorrow brought her back. There's two Sarahs, so easy way to fix it, and a good way to have a recurrent ramification from Flashpoint is just change Diggle's kid into a boy, and that way the John Diggle Jr. or Connor Hawk, whatever you want to call him, we saw in the future, can be that kid.
I'd just still call him John Diggle Jr. I think that was just pointless. I think it was a cop out. I don't think that there was literally. I think they were kind of like, right, how much can we change it? I think making Caitlin turn into Killer Frost was a good one. I thought that was a good one because obviously now that's going to have massive effects. But I think it's going to cripple the team dynamic because obviously at some point, pretty recently, because in the latest episode when they kind of mediumed Dr. Alchemy through Savitar, I figured when he said one's going to fall, one's going to betray you, and one's going to suffer a fate worse than death, I figure she's the one who's going to betray him. Because I think it's too cop out for her to be the one who has a fate worse than death. Because, I mean, come on, be real.
Is it not too obvious though for her to be the one?
Yeah, but either way, it'd be too obvious for her to be.
I mean, who else did it? It's not going to be Cisco, is it? Not going to be Joe.
I think Cisco's more likely to betray.
No, they would never do it. He's their little cash cow. Everyone loves him. They're not going to turn him evil.
Yeah, but I mean, when he says that, are they going to cop out like with Flashpoint, where he's going to be under possession by someone, and it's going to be like, oh, I want myself, and will that count as it?
Yeah, probably.
Or will it actually be like one of them actually turns? Because in terms of one of them turning, you could just have HR do that. I mean,
but we've already had that, haven't we?
Yeah, here's the cash cow. Cisco ain't, because they keep bringing him back as different characters every season. You kill him, he comes back. He leaves the universe, he comes back. So trust.
It won't. I don't think it'd be him. We already had evil Harrison Wells or Eobard Thorne in the first season. I don't know who the traitor would be, but Caitlin having powers. I know Killer Frost is the character in the comics, but Caitlin having powers plays into this whole thing that I'm not a big fan of with these DC shows in general. Everyone's got powers. Everyone. It doesn't make. They're not special anymore. I don't want Wally to be Kid Flash. I don't even like the character.
He's got no other purpose for being there then.
Good, get rid of him.
Yeah, but I think they're just trying to give it, because now it's metahumans. You say everyone's got powers. I think it's diverser. You've got metahumans, now you've got aliens, and then Arrow was trying to push magic.
Thank God they did away with that.
Or the Mystics. So I mean, yeah, but that's the kind of universe they live in. You know what I mean? I think they're trying, as a consequence of the dark matter going off, they're trying to, you know what I mean? You can't have the dark matter go off, cover a whole city of like millions of people, and then like it doesn't quite work out that everyone's got powers. I mean,
Of course you can.
it's just a
What's
situation.
special? What's special about the Flash if Wally's got super speed and Jessie quick
Yeah,
and
she's left the
pop back
universe.
against Garrick? Yeah, and she can pop back whenever she likes. Supergirl's in a different universe, and she pops up whenever she likes.
She's only popped up once.
Eobard Thawne, the other got Savitar.
Zoom. You forgot Zoom.
Sure, Zoom.
Yeah, but you said powers in general. You've just named every single person who's got super speed.
Yeah, exactly.
Are you are you
Special him.
are you annoyed that people have got powers, or that most of the characters are like speedsters?
The speedster thing bothers me too, but even everyone on the team. What Cisco, yeah, he works great when he's there and he's doing his little, I'm a computer whiz thing, but now he's got powers as well. I don't want him out there fighting with Barry.
I think they're just trying to. I think they're trying to give him layers. You know what I mean? Multi-dimensional characters, so they can't really go flat. Because I mean, if you kind of compare it to Felicity Smoke from Arrow, I'm just sick of that Felicity stuff anyway. But I mean, that's all from another video. But I mean, she's pretty much pointless. I find her pointless.
Why is she pointless? I'm not a big fan of the character either, but she's not pointless.
Yeah, but
she's the only one that can do that computer stuff on that show.
Yeah, but I think
that's her role. That's
yeah,
Cisco's role.
Yeah,
she
but
doesn't need powers.
Yeah, but it's a minor role. But she's she's a major character. I mean, that sort of stuff can go on behind the scenes. It's like very minor, but like she's at like the center of everything. See, Cisco's the kind. I think they're trying to. I think it kind of gratifies it more that he's got powers. I think I like him more with powers, a lot better, because it opens up anyway. Because obviously he can cross dimensional barriers. I think with that, obviously, it just opens up the whole different storylines. It just makes it easier to storyline than it would be if he didn't have powers. What, you just have Barry like running?
Barry can run there,
running through wormholes. Yeah, but that's only himself.
The Flash. Yes, yeah. Of course. The show is called The Flash. It's not The Flash and Cisco, is it? Who cares?
Yeah, but he needs a team.
No, he doesn't. He's The Flash. It's The Flash. Arrow needs a team. I'll give you that. But he's one dude. He's like Batman. Yeah, he needs help around him. But the Flash doesn't.
Yeah, but that's like saying the Justice League. You don't need the Justice League if you just got Superman.
No,
why
that's
can't
different.
Superman deal with it? How's it different?
Because that they fight worldwide galactic threats. Doomsday or Darkseid.
Brainiac. I think.
Nah, Superman can take Brainiac.
Getting back to the point, I think I definitely agree with you about the speedsters. I think one main problem that they do have in terms of villains is like they keep using speedsters. I think obviously they brought in Dr. Alchemy this year as well. I think that was I think they were trying to like move away from speedsters, but really it was just to cover for a speedster.
Yeah.
A speedster, I think, but. Because obviously, until Captain Cold, see, they can't even use Captain Cold anymore. They can't. No. The rogues don't really stand up. The rogues are like one shot, one episode. You know what I mean? You can't drag out a whole season and have like the rogues like drag out some plot for like every single or do different things every episode, because you're gonna get bored of them. So I mean, now they're bringing magic into it. Into the different universes, or aliens or something like that. Just have an alien plot by or something like that, because you've either got to use speedsters or you've got to negate Barry's speed, the Flash's speed. And I mean, how many times has that been done already?
We don't want that again. We don't want him to lose his speed.
There we go.
But if we're being honest about the Flash, the problem they kind of have is that his villains for the most part suck. Yeah. He's got Greta Grodd and he's got Zoom, either version, Eobard Thawne or the other one.
I guarantee next year they bring in Inertia as a villain, or Godspeed or something like that. They completely cop out. See, they've got to get away from that. See, the rogues are good. So you say he hasn't really got that much good.
The rogues aren't good. They're not like, but Pied Piper.
I think the way they're portrayed in the show is pretty good. I think you're thinking too much strictly comic book because I mean Captain Cole was good, but they killed him. They've killed him.
It was Captain Cold was right. I didn't mind the character, but he's not a massive season-long threat, is he?
I think if you did it right, but I don't think they can write it right. So I think they cop out and they just bring in a speedster. But I mean they've had Zoom kind of try and destroy the multiverse now. So I mean, what other massive threats could a speedster actually do? I mean, I have no idea what the point of Savitar is.
I don't know. I've got to imagine they're going to move away from the speeders next year because Savitar's whole thing is that he's like the god of speeders, right?
Yeah.
So he's like the best one. So I imagine the point is.
So it's either going to have to kill Barry or he's going to take away his speed.
I've seen that too many times.
They
won't do it again. They won't. Exactly. When they did it, last season, didn't they?
Yeah.
Yeah, they won't do that again. I hope not, anyway.
So, I think what other strands? I think Doctor Alchemy as well. Now they're kind of all pally with Julie and Albert. I figure he's got to end up dying, or he could be. Does he count as one of the people Savitar was talking about?
Well, I could betray him.
Yeah.
I mean.
I think he's going to be if they do, because they'll probably do that on the slide. They'll be like, oh well, Julian was in the room, so obviously Savitar was talking about him, and he's pretty expendable anyway. So I figure he won't betray him. He'll end up getting killed, because is Tom Felton really going to come back next season as like just to be like a CSI?
No.
Well, that's it then. I mean, he's going to get killed. I think. I don't know what HR's going to do.
Well, he'll be gone. I guess the gag now is there'll be another Harrison Wells next season, right?
I don't see why the first one doesn't just come back.
The first one, you mean the second one?
Oh, yeah, okay, then the second one then. From Earth 2, bring him back. But then there's going to be the whole issue of Jesse Quick. Can he leave her alone, or is he going to bring her too? So I think the kind of relationship between Wally West and Jesse Quick was pretty pointless as well, because it was like,
Wally West is pointless.
I'll come back and see you, and it's like, well, how are you going to do that then? You know what I mean? Is Wally West going to be like to Cisco, like, yo, can you open up a portal so I can go see Jesse Quick? Because none of them can run fast enough, and I don't see what this big point about them being faster than Barry is, because when Jesse...
In the comics, Wally's faster than Barry, or at least he used to be. You know how they change these things, but
yeah,
he used to be. That's the confusing thing about Wally as well. I don't want to bring comic books into this too much, but now we're at a point where there are two of them.
Yeah.
So it's like, which Wally is this? I mean, logic would dictate he is the new Wally, right?
I guess so.
I mean, personality-wise, I guess that fits more. I think that may be more of my problem with the character. I just don't like him. I think he's bland and whiny.
I guess so.
He has no charisma.
I think because it's kind of like they're trying to like make him too much of a teenager. You know what I mean? Like,
he's not a teenager.
He's moping about his powers. I think he is, because he's at school, isn't he? He kept saying how he's building stuff for school. So
I think he's at college. I don't know.
But I think
it's got to be like 19, 20, something like that.
They're definitely trying to play the immature angle though, because you see how he was with his powers when he was just going out his way, and now he's got his powers. I think, if anything, when Savitar was talking about the person to betray, I think they're going to push for that angle now, that Wally's going to betray the Flash, Barry.
You think so?
Yeah, I think so. Because that's kind of, I've been looking towards it. I think Wally's going to think that he's going to outgrow the Flash now that he kind of saved him last episode. So I mean, I tell you what, the CGI, the fights with Savitar, that's been pretty good so far. I think when he slapped up Jay Garrick, and then obviously the first time when he slapped up Barry, when he was just running through going so fast through the portal, I think that was pretty decent. But I think
the CGI is hit and miss on the Flash, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like it can, like the shark look great.
Yeah,
But then there are times when you see like Barry running in slow motion. It looks dreadful.
yeah.
Like Spider-Man 2002 level of like CGI, like pretty bad.
What I think's going to be annoying as well is now that obviously I think they've moved in together now. Barry and Iris have moved in, and obviously there's that whole thing looming of Savitar killing Iris. So I
Mm.
think there's going to be that. What they'll do is they'll kind of they'll play for the angle of like Clark Kent and Lana Lang, you know what I mean, in Smallville, where he'll be. See, you look surprised. He'll be so like trying to protect her all the time. Now they've moved in. Now he knows she's gonna die. He's gonna be so like all over her and stuff like that. That they're gonna end up like splitting up or never getting married or something, or just completely pushing it back about 2 seasons, and then they'll be back to exactly where they were at the start, and it's just gonna be.
Yeah, you run the risk of annoying a lot of people with that.
Mm,
Because in Smallville, really Clark and Lana weren't really together that often. Like
yeah.
towards the end of season 1, a bit of season 2, and then they weren't together until season 5, and they were together about half of that season, and that was it.
And as soon as they did that with the season 5, they bring Lois Lane in, where it's like that's the kind of annoying thing as well. Like in season 2 of Flash, with like Patty Spibbert and stuff like that, it's like there's no point bringing in any other love interest for Barry because you know how it's going to end up. Which is kind of why it's annoying with Arrow as well, how all the fans are getting behind like Felicity and Oliver when you know it's going to end up with Laura Lance. So it's just like, oh, why do
Well,
it?
we don't know what the hell's going on there now, do we? That's another show, but
Hmm.
is she back? Isn't she? I don't know. But they need to get away from the Felicity. You know what? We'll save that for the Arrow. But
Exactly.
in terms of,
That's another video.
I mean, I don't think I don't think they'd ever kill Iris on
No.
the Flash. I don't think an Arrow. I'd believe they'd do it, but the Flash is the brighter show. I mean, she died in the comics. Yeah, bad form killed her, but I just don't see it happening on the show.
Even so, see the kind of thing with Flash now is that after Flashpoint, he's like learned his lesson and he's not going to run back in time. But the problem is that like if anything like that does happen, he's just going to run back and change the timeline again.
I hope to God he has learned his lesson because there's only so much he can do. I like having a flawed hero. I like that he did it the first time,
Yeah.
but you can't keep doing it.
No.
Going having Oliver Queen saying, "Oh yeah, don't worry about it. It's good." Can't really forgive it enough time. I mean, why Diggle wasn't more annoyed? I'll never understand.
Definitely. I think that's just poor writing. I
Yeah.
think all the kind of thing they brought up that oh no you can't tell them they're gonna be furious, and then like 2 seconds later it's just like not really bothered. You know what I mean? He could have kicked out, especially John Diggle as well, because he always kicks up a fuss over nothing anyway. So for him not to kick up a fuss over that for more than 2 seconds, it's like I had a daughter, and no more discussion about it. I mean, a good thing from the crossover episode as well was the Hall of Justice, whether that's going to feature in more, because I think the kind of all of them together, I think it was kind of an interim uh, Justice League, but without the main characters. The only main character being there was obviously being the Flash, because everyone else is what we well Flash and Firestorm. I'd rate Firestorm over Green Arrow in terms of kind of
You're having a laugh at you.
nah.
Firestorm over the Green Arrow.
Yeah,
Green
Firestorm.
Arrow. The Green Arrow has his own TV show.
Yeah, but Firestorm. So in terms of comics, I rate him more.
Out
I,
your mind.
I think he's better. I think he's more of a main character in the Justice League.
No,
Yes, I fact.
that's not a fact. Firestorm is not a bigger character than the Green Arrow.
Yeah, in
Oh.
Justice League terms,
No,
I think so.
you're out your mind.
I think so. I definitely think so. So, what else has happened? I'm trying to think now. The kind of the relationship stuff with Joe West and that really, really, really short woman.
Yeah, I don't know. It's kind of boring, but I mean, I suppose Give him a girlfriend, why not?
In terms of relationships, because what other relationships are going on as well? I mean, I think
They hinted at oh god, I don't want to call him Malfoy. What the hell was his name on the show?
Julian Albert.
Julian, right? They hinted at Julian and Killer Frost, Caitlin. They hinted at that.
Really?
Yeah, in the last episode.
Uh,
Um, Barry and Iris.
so I didn't clock that. I think Caitlin's a bit of a dummy because like if you keep using your powers, it's just gonna. I don't know what angle they're trying to work there as well. Like the more you use your powers, the more you turn into Killer Frost. So I don't really get that angle, and like how she like just nonchalantly like used it to turn like the rain to snow. It's just like who
Yeah,
cares?
that's weird that she doesn't want to use her powers, doesn't use her powers, yet knows how to do that.
She'll make
Like,
it.
surely that takes practice. Like, you don't just magically do that, do you?
I thought it was a bit dumb as well how she just hung her hand out the window and then like turned it to snow. I thought it would have been better if she kind of leaned out and like blasted up in the air and then obviously it turned.
Yeah, well, I don't think they had the budget for that.
That would have been good though. I would have preferred that a lot more. But I think in terms of where it's going, something's got to happen with the box because I think they're in possession of the box and the stone now. So something's got to happen that's gonna let Savitar out. So, because I mean, technically, to deal with Savitar, you just take the box and make sure no one gets to it, no one touches it, and then you never have to bother with him again because he's trapped inside the stone. So now, whether they're going to deal with, because also another thing is what he said was that future Barry like screwed him over. So are we going to see a non-metallic Savitar? And when are we going to see the events of what led to him trapping in Savitar? Is it going to be like a loop where obviously he's seen the future and has seen him kill Iris, so he runs back in time to kind of deal with Savitar beforehand? Or does Savitar from before he met Barry and maybe they cross paths beforehand in the future before he actually thinks he's met Savitar?
This is the kind of stuff that gives me a headache.
That's going to be a complicated one, but I figure they'll just go. But that kind of like the Reverse Flash, like obviously what they did with that with Eobard Thawne is, I think in season 2 is chronologically the first time Eobard Thawne met the Flash, which caused him to run back and kill his mother, which was obviously in season 1. Is that what's going to happen, but the reverse for Flash and Savitar?
I don't know. I try not to think too deeply about this stuff.
Yeah, but I
think Savitar is a means to an end. I don't really know what the end is, if you know what I mean. I think they want to get somewhere with the group, as in, with the premonitions he gave, what's going to happen, the betrayal, blah blah blah. I think they want to make a shift with the group dynamic. I don't know what that is yet. Are they going to turn? Do they have the balls to turn one of their characters truly evil and make them an enemy?
if so, who's that? I mean, when you put it like that, a shock would be anyone but Caitlin.
Yes,
Because I think
it's I didn't love Agents of Shield. I watched it on and off. I'm not a big fan, but one good thing they did was they turned the character of Grant Ward, who was boring as hell, into a Hydra agent, and he was at least when I watched the show, he was the best thing on it afterwards, and it changed the dynamic of the show and made everyone more interesting. Will they do it on the Flash? I don't know.
Who would they do it with? Because if they do it with Caitlin and they turn her into Killer Frost, which is obviously the way it's going to go. I mean, let's not mess about or beat around the bush. That's obviously the way it's going to go. In doing that, then what purpose is she going to serve afterwards? Is she going to be one of them characters who pops up like once a season or once every couple of episodes to do what? And even then, is it going to be like, oh, Caitlin, don't do it, you used to be our friend, oh, don't call me Caitlin and that, I'm Killer Frost now, and then they like just talk her down every single time.
Right, that's the problem. That's the problem you're into. Caitlin will be obvious,
Mm-hmm.
and she is obvious, but Cisco, they won't do it. He's too popular.
He's popular and a good guy, but I mean, what you've got to look at is for all intents and purposes, is the most powerful, is the most metahuman there going. I mean, he could kill the Flash, no sweat. If he actually, maybe they'll pull the angle that he gets too powerful and then starts to split, because with the whole vibe, you could have the split personalities. Will he become vibe and reverb, or have the personalities of both? Because that's pretty much in, if you go back to when they went to Earth 2 the first time and he had reverb, that's pretty much what happened to him. He got too powerful and too cocky, and then he decided, actually, I'm just going to turn bad. And then obviously Killer Frost is the same thing. So would you say that those two both, looking at those examples, wouldn't he be as obvious as her?
No, I legitimately think the character is too popular that they won't do it. I think they run the risk of turning the fans against the show if they do it.
I think
if you had to pick one, I personally would make it Wally.
What, to betray?
Yes. I would turn Wally into a supervillain. I would turn him into a reverse Flash. It's already got the yellow, go with it.
But then
I don't think they will go with Wally West. He is the other Flash. It would be sacrilege, so they wouldn't do it.
For speculation's sake,
yeah.
With that, what happens with the relationship between Iris West, Joy West and Barry Allen if Wally West does turn into a supervillain?
I think what you do, you shift the dynamic in terms of Joe and Barry, who will still love one another, but Joe will feel like, having placed so much time in trying to raise Barry, he neglected Wally. Granted, he didn't know about Wally. But
there's nothing he can do about that.
Right, but as a father, he would blame himself for Wally having turned evil, and will spend several seasons on the show trying to get Wally to turn around and turn over his ways, and then eventually you have to kill Wally off.
So what happens? Okay, so one of them dies, well, one of them falls, one of them betrays, and one faces a fate worse than death. What happens if what happens if Wally dies? They've brought him in, they've given powers, and what happens if everything that they've kind of been saying all season, that Wally West end up getting himself, running into danger and getting himself killed? What happens if Wally West gets killed? What if he's the one who falls?
I think it'll be a similar thing. Joe again will blame himself for not talking him out of it. He will blame Barry.
Mm-hmm.
He will blame Iris. I think Iris and Wally will stay pretty solid.
But Wally's dead. I'm saying, what happens if Wally's dead?
Iris and Barry will stay pretty solid, but I think everything will be guilt all around.
So what happens if Barry can't change the future and Iris is the one who dies? Because I don't think she's going to betray, and I don't see what fate would befall her. So what if literally he can't stop Savitar and she ends up dying?
Okay, theoretically, I think Barry will leave the city and Wally in his place will take over, and Barry will go on a journey through the
multiverse.
Maybe. Maybe. Who knows? I think I can't buy into it. I don't think they're going to do it. They won't kill Iris.
I think literally in dropping that, I think they kind of out clever themselves. I thought they were trying to. I think they're trying to be clever, but they're going to end up screwing themselves over, or it's just going to be like they're just going to pull the obvious moves.
What would the prophecies mean?
Yeah,
Yeah, I think they have backed
I,
themselves into a corner. I think it's a cool thing, but it's very difficult to live up to it.
exactly. I think they just got a little bit too big for their boots. So, I mean, in terms of predicting where it's going to go, I think for different episodes, I mean, I don't know what other villains are going to pop up in terms of day-to-day episodes, whether there's going to be even more Flashpoint people, because I think Dr. Alchemy was saying how his goal was to give everyone from Flashpoint their powers. So, I mean, what other villains would pop up from that?
I don't know. I find the Flash villains of the week particularly lame.
What would you rather they went the Arrow route and just took villains from other properties and introduce them?
I think they're going to have to eventually. I mean, I've got through most of them, but Pied Piper, has he been on the show?
Yeah,
Yeah,
Hartley Rathaway.
right. I
Because
think that. Well,
last time, because I think he ran back last season and changed time and turned him from a villain
oh right, yeah,
into
yeah, that's right.
into a good guy. So, I mean, where it goes afterwards, because now they've used Savitar in terms of for the rest of the season and next season. I don't really. I'm hoping they kind of get away from the speedsters because they've kind of completely just they've kind of drowned them in speedsters now. So I figure, are they gonna kill Wally off just to kind of lower the level and move away from that, or are they gonna keep going? Because I mean, say it goes for 10 seasons, and every single season there's a speedster villain. I mean, is there really that much? Are they gonna? Because they seem to cop out. I mean, they've got all this time to think of like a decent villain they can have. Maybe someone who like can negate Barry's speed when he's near him, so Barry can still go and do his day-to-day stuff. But when he comes against this individual person, he can't really rely on his speed so much. I mean, that's the best thing they can do, because if they keep using speedsters, because that's basically what the speedsters do anyway, because they're faster than Barry, it kind of makes him kind of redundant. Because the point of his speed is he can use his speed, but if they're faster than him, it's no contest.
Yeah, the villain's a difficult one. Like I say with Arrow, you know, Arrow's got what, Merlin. Aside from that, not many others. So he hasn't. He deals with Batman villains mainly.
Mm-hmm.
With Flash has gone through most of his big villains now.
Yeah.
No, the biggest one they haven't used a great deal of is Gorilla Grodd, but
Apparently, it is meant to be coming back, but I don't think they've done that yet.
They can't have Gorilla Grodd as a season-long big villain because of the cost of the CGI.
They could.
No, too much money.
I mean, if they could find a way to do it effectively, because I think it wouldn't be. They could just have the humans. They could just have him with his mind control, controlling like a bunch of villains.
That's lame though. That's gonna get lame across the entire season. You're just gonna get sick of seeing it's the same thing over and over again. It just won't work.
How if they do bring him back? How I'm getting feedback. How much? How? Oh yeah.
Right, you have to cut
So in terms of Gorilla Grodd, how kind of scientifically advanced is he going to be? Is Gorilla City all going to be built? I mean, the problem with him as well is that he's been plopped off in a different universe. So is he going to find a way to get through to this universe, or will Flashpoint have changed so Gorilla City is it on Earth 1 as opposed to Earth wherever 2, I think.
This different universe thing isn't a problem. It keeps coming. People from different universes are always popping over into the other one. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, but they're kind of assisted. I mean, the majority of people who come through was because Zoom let them through. Flash and Cisco went to get Supergirl. So
Yeah, now Supergirl's got a way through. The other Flash can come through. Jesse Quick can come through. The other what's his face can come through. Well, yeah. So and look, Gorilla Grodd is what, like a super genius gorilla. He'll figure out a way to come through as well.
I figure it'd just be easier them to do Flashpoint and just have him on Earth 1 as opposed to Earth 2.
Wouldn't that have come up by now?
Nah, not yet, because Flashpoint didn't happen. Flashpoint's only happened. I mean, it's pretty wrapped up at the minute. So I mean, if they're going to bring him back, which have said they're going to bring him back for an episode or so, I mean, those are the questions you got to ask. So I think that pretty much wraps it up for this episode of Up for Discussion. I've been Sam.
I've been Matt.
Okay, so like, share, subscribe, comment, and we'll see you in the next episode.